Hello everybody. Today I have for you the July 2022 Spellbinders Kit of the Month called Under the Sea Magic. And let's take a quick look at what's inside. So I did take a peek and I noticed I had this stamp set just sitting right on top of here when I opened it up. We'll take a look at the stamp set, being as it's right here. We've got a unicorn and a fairy, and then some sentiments. Every little thing you do is. I hope today is filled with. And then we have magic. Leave a little sparkle wherever you go. With love from the Tooth Fairy. If I had any children at home, that would be cute. To the birthday princess, wish upon a star, and you are made of stardust and wishes and magical things. Oh, it's pretty cool. We got a little sprinkling of stars, a tooth, a heart, and a few more stars up here and there. So lots of stars. Let's open this up. And as always, I am like knocking things over in the background. We have our 10 card bases and envelopes. We have some ephemera, some beautiful gems. These have like a sparkle to them. You can't really see, I don't think. And these have like gold flecks on the purple and the blue. And then the gold ones are like really sparkling, glittery looking. And then we have some hard little, they're puffy, but they're hard stickers with the alphabet, A through Z. And see, I have another stamp set. So I don't know if there's a flaw in this stamp set or what was going on, but I have two stamp sets. We'll put that off to the side. We have some chipboard stickers here, double-sided. Not the stickers, I mean there's like two sides to the amount of chipboard we get. We have some foam stickers and some double-sided adhesive tape. We have some dies here. Now the dies are a couple of mermaids here, and we have some seaweed and some stars, and I guess I could dump it out and we could look together. Let's see what we have. We have seaweed, mermaid, starfish, shell, seahorse, cute seahorse, another seahorse facing the other way. We have bubbles or pearls, a little angel fish, it looks like, and another oyster. An oyster, or is that the oyster? You might be able to put these together. I'd have to look. So those are our dies, and let's get those. Get those real quick in my hands so I don't lose any of them. And we'll put this to the side. Get that when we're off camera. A little recipe card, which some people take out first. I just kind of get to it when I get to it. We have pattern paper. And take a quick little run through. Gorgeous green, kind of leafy, tone on tone. That's pretty, purple and teal. Looks like a alcohol ink background. Gorgeous, it's little almost, I don't know, splotches and mermaid, seahorse. Newsprint with little dots, hexagons or whatever, gold florals. Little anchors on wood. I like that a lot. Seahorses and stars and just whimsical polka dots here. And these are roses with some pink splatter. It's tone on tone with pink splatter. Beautiful little fairy. You can't really see the wings, and a unicorn and some florals and real whimsical again. Pink floral. These are little fairy with gold little dots going all along. That is pretty. Little fairy with some stars and some text. Kind of looks like a mixed media sheet almost. We have some musical notes here. Here we have a unicorn with a nice little green background and stars, and that's lavender, real pretty. More unicorns, lavender tone on tone again, floral. And this looks like mermaid tail scales, almost fish scales with the gold. So that's really pretty pattern paper. Now let's take a look at our color palette for the month. Put that box up there. So we have their gold double-sided sheet. That's really pretty. We have a lavender, a white, a really, really, really hot pink, kind of hard on the eyes almost. We have a darker purple. We have a dark pink. We have a light pink. We have a light blue. And we have kind of a surfy ocean, kind of salty ocean. I don't know what color you want that, but it's a darker blue than that. And a very pretty color palette this month. So let's get making some cards. So as you can see here, I figured out what was going on with the two stamp sets. The first stamp set that was in the kit has an error on it, and it says leave a little sparkle wherever you go. And of course that was the stamp set I chose, but to stamp everything out with. But at least now I know why I have two stamp sets. So for this first card, I am making the pattern paper work for me. I took this beautiful lilac colored cardstock, and I'm using that for the frame, and then I am pasting down or taping down, as the case may be, my pattern paper. It's got the beautiful little mermaid on it, and so I am putting that down on my A2 card front, 5.5 by 4.25, and in the upper left hand corner I am taping down a few shellfish. I figured we had that open spot there and I was going to use it. So I've got a little starfish, a little, is it a conch? I'm not even sure what it's called, and a little oyster-like shell there, or scallop I'm using. Now that one I pop up a little bit with a little piece of foam tape on it, or in this case a few little pieces of foam tape out of my stash. For some reason I don't usually use the Spellbinders foam tape. I think it's a little thick, and so I've got a lot of it. I should start using it. One of these days I should do a video of just all the adhesive I've gotten, and so much of it I've gotten for free. It's just like in card kits, it's crazy. So I am going to take the alphabet stickers that came in this kit. I normally don't use them, and I'm like, I don't know why. So I'm like, I think I'm just going to use them on this card. Now I had a hard time coming up with what I was going to put on it. I didn't want to just put hello or smile, I mean, which are fine sentiments, but those are the ones that I would probably use most of the time. And so I just decided I was going to put shine. Now, after I started putting shine on here, and I'm like, well, I still have a lot of room next to shine. And so I thought, well, I'll just put shine on. Now, why I'm putting shine on when she's at the bottom of the ocean, I don't know. I could have put, like, I guess swim on or any number of things, but shine on's what I chose, and shine on is what I ended up using. Now I brought out the T-square from Simon Says stamps, and I thought I was going to use that, and I did use it, but it's still, because these letters are kind of at an angle, I still had to fiddle with them quite a bit. But in the end, I don't think they look too bad. And so that's going to be it for this card. I'm not going to put anything else on it, and that's card number 1. Now for card number 2, I've got this beautiful piece of gold cardstock that I'm going to use after I end up taping everything down, and, you know, trying to get it all even here. And I'm going to be putting the gold cardstock on my pattern paper, which this pattern paper is really, really pretty. It's got stripes and blue and teal, and I just love, well, the teal and the lavender, I think, look real good together. Blue and teal. Blue is kind of tealish. I don't know. I'm rambling again. So we're gluing down our strip, which I've mentioned from the very beginning of this card that we have this beautiful gold strip. And I'm gluing that down. And in the center, a little bit up, I am going to be putting a circle die cut, which just is going to frame out our little two starfishes beautifully. So I'm going to put them facing each other. I assume one's a boy and one's a girl, but I can't tell which is which. You know, starfish, why did my mind go blank? Seahorses are the only animal or crustacean or whatever they are that the male carries the babies, which is kind of cool. And so in between them, I put this little scallop, chipboard scallop. Tripping over my own tongue. And I've got the sentiment magic, and I decide that I'm going to use the sentiment from the stamp kit. Every little thing you do is, and put that above the magic. But I don't think I like it in the black, so I pull out some Simon Says Stamp Orchid ink. Now, in hindsight, I wish I would have taken this orchid ink and stamped out all those sentiments and stuff you see on the upper right hand side. I probably would have used more of them. I didn't feel like redoing and fussy cutting them all out again. What I did was I just taped the entire stamp without taking them off of the backer onto my MISTI, and I stamped them that way, which is why I've got all of them. And then I fussy cut them out just while I was just sitting, you know, doing a whole lot of nothing. I did use my brother's scan and cut for the unicorn and the fairy, which is why they look so much better than the ones I fussy cut out. But anyhow, so I restamped every little thing you do is in the orchid ink, and then I cut that out and I put a little fishtail on it, and I glued everything down, and I brought in some of those beautiful aqua blue gemstones, and that was it for card number 2. Now for card number 3, you can see where I used my brother's scan and cut to do the fairy and the unicorn, and I really think it would have looked better in the orchid ink, but I wasn't going to do it again, you know. And I almost wish they would have had a mermaid in the silhouette, because the sentiment I chose is dance with fairies, ride a unicorn, swim with mermaids, and chase your dreams. So of course I had to put a fairy, a unicorn, and a mermaid on this card. So the pattern paper's got like this text background with all these little, well, they're not, are they hexagons? How many sides are they? 1, 2, 3, 6 sides. So what are 6 sides? I don't know. My mind is just like, what is 6-sided? At any rate, I went ahead and I cut out, I think they are hexagons. I cut out a gold hexagon with some of my stash dies, and I just framed out the sentiment on top of that. And now I am gluing down flat all my little die cuts and my stamped out images, and I just think they're really kind of cute. I debated back and forth about using the mermaid because she's colored while the fairy and the unicorn are just in silhouette. And I did have some silhouette mermaids. I just didn't like the color they were. They were in pink, and I didn't want pink for some reason, or green. And so I just went ahead with this one that you see glued down. And I think I had a purple one too, but she was too big and doing the wrong thing. So then I put some of these gold gems in the corner, and that's it for card number 3. I promise I'm going to keep track of my cards for a change too. I hope anyway. A little early, I guess, to promise that when I'm on card 4. So for this card, I've got a little fairy, and the sentiment I'm using is going to say always chase rainbows. So luckily there was one little rainbow in a circle die cut that I'm going to use in the center of this card. Now I've got a piece of fun foam, and I am just going to be popping up this pattern paper for a little bit of added dimension, and I start taping that down, and I think you're better off sometimes using the glue. The tape doesn't always want to come out onto this fun foam, and I was having to really fight with my tape runner there. You might not see it, but trust me, I was. So here's my little rainbow that I am putting in the center of this card, and I've got my little fairy here. She's holding a little lantern. I don't know if there's any symbolism behind that or if it's just cute. It is cute. Too bad I don't have a moth, that came with the die kit. I could have a little moth that she was attracting with her lantern. So we have the little ticket there that says Born to Sparkle and Shine as well, that I just thought was cute, and it went well. And I've got a little round die cut that says Magic. I thought the two circles worked well together, also. And so now I'm just gluing down the chipboard sentiment on the bottom. And I'm going to put on a few of the little gems. I end up choosing little aqua ones, and just use 3 of them, but I think they go well on this card. And that's going to be it for card number 4. Now for card number 5, I'm using the pattern paper again. I'm letting it work for me. This time the mermaid is on the lower left-hand corner, and I'm going to have more going on than just the mermaid, but you don't want to cover her up, so you've got to have her right there. Got to have her there so you can see her with nothing on top of her. She's just so pretty. And the background around her kind of looks like watercolor with some little splatter. And so we've got a sentiment that says "Have an enchanted birthday," and I'm gonna pop that up with some foam tape. And I've also got a sentiment that says "Let's celebrate," and one that says "Believe in your dreams." So we've got 3 sentiments we're putting on this card, as well as a little seahorse in a circle that I just thought the color and everything just kind of complemented the card a bit. So that's getting popped up as well. Now I am going to glue down flat the "Let's celebrate," but I am popping up the "Believe in your dreams." So, we've got a lot of dimension going on this card. And I do end up afterwards, I bring in my little glitter pen, and I glitter up the mermaid's tail and her hair and the seahorse, and pretty much almost all the elements on this card I end up glittering. And I think it's really pretty. It gives a little extra sparkle. I didn't want to put any gems on this card because it's a little busy to begin with the background. I didn't want to distract from the mermaid at all. But glittering up, I think, was the right choice. And so moving on to card number 6, we've got this light pink card stock that is going to frame out our pattern paper. And our pattern paper is, it looks like mixed media. I mentioned that in the unboxing. And here's where this tape runner ran out of tape, and so I brought in the Simon Says tape runner again. I think this might be the last card I use the tape runner on. I'm kind of like, oh, it's time to switch to glue. But yeah, I love this paper, and it almost could have worked by itself, but that would have been cheating, I think. So I brought in a rose die cut. It's just a gold rose with almost looks like some gold splatter on it a little bit. And I put that in the upper right hand corner. And then I've got a little unicorn that I'm gluing right below our little fairy. Now you can't really tell she's a fairy unless you're really looking close because she's got like these gossamer transparent wings. They're really pretty. I think everything about this card kit is just pretty though. So here we've got the chipboard sentiment that says celebrate that I'm putting down at the bottom. It doesn't say what to celebrate. I may end up putting a birthday sentiment on the inside of this card. I didn't decorate any of the inside of my cards yet, but I have a lot of pattern paper and stuff put off to the side, and I think I'll probably do that later. And now I've got 3 chipboard stars in pink, blue, and purple. I am just going to add to this card instead of using the gems. And that's pretty much going to be it for this card here. For card number 6. It's just a pretty pink card. Now for card number 7, I am bringing in a card that I used all the die cuts on. I've got a the darker pink background. Oh, I guess this is not the one that I got rid of the tape runner. I thought it was. Must be the next card. So I went through 7 cards using the tape runner. So I've got my tape gun, ATG gun somewhere over here, but I think it needs more tape. I've got all these little tape runners that I'm trying to use up. So I'm just gluing down this background that looks like it's alcohol ink. It's got blues and greens and purples, and it's a real pretty background. And I don't know why I decided, if you can see, I've got adhesive on my card. I'm trying to erase off. But anyway, I don't know why I decided on pink die cuts. For some reason, it's just I had a piece of pink pattern paper, a couple of them, and that's just what I grabbed. I figured it didn't really matter what color we used. Anything was going to go on this beautiful pattern paper. And so I just did all the die cuts in pink. And you see me just trying to arrange them there in a little bitty seascape. We've got our 2 mermaids, our 2 seahorses, our little oyster and some seagrass and starfish and a little angelfish. And our sentiment says, "You are made of magic." And so now I'm just... I arranged everything, and now I'm just going to be gluing it all down. And I think, like I said, I think any color of the die cuts would have worked with this background. Maybe if we'd have had a beautiful teal cardstock, or I could have used the darker blue as well. That might have looked a little bit more striking, but because there is blue in the background, I wanted something that was going to stand out a bit more on it. And there's some purples in the background of the paper, and even though the pink goes with it, there wasn't really pink, so I thought that might stand out the most. Which kind of, when I say I don't know why I chose the pink, I guess I did know why I chose it. It still was a random choice though. There were no good or bad choices. You could use anything. Everything in this card kit goes together so well. And I just think these were so easy to do that I had to do a card using them all. And I love the fact that they put 2 seahorses in there that faced each other, so you didn't have, just didn't have to flip them around, which you still could have, but then you get that weird line on them. So it's all good. I guess I could have made a school of fish. They can look the same, and they go in the same direction, but I just made one. A little cute fishy. And I do like that they have 3 starfish. Now those are all a little bit different. Again, they could have just included the one, but Spellbinders likes to go above and beyond, I find, and really give us some nice dies in with these kits. Now, as of filming, this kit is still available for another week. So you better act fast. But then again, a lot of times they do have some leftover card kits you can buy afterwards. You just have to kind of go searching for them. If they sell out, they're gone though. And now I am just putting some of the blue, not the aqua, the darker blue gems kind of scattered around this scene here. You know, figure it's busy, why not make it busier and add a little sparkle? And that's going to be it for card 7. Oops, some of these weren't sticky and I had to like actually glue them down. Sometimes when you pick up these gems, the sticky doesn't come with it. It stays on the release paper. So you just glue them down and it's all good. Now this card I like a lot, this card number 8. It's got the anchor background pattern paper, and I took the anchor that came with the kit and I added some white like twine, some string, whatever you want to call it, around it. And right about here is when I said, oops, I was supposed to put that twine underneath it before I glued it down. But it's like, no big deal. I am just bringing in some glue dots now. And I'm going to use those to secure my anchor. And I've got the little glue dots that are almost a perfect size. You don't want the bigger glue dots. These are tiny ones, like mini glue dots. So I just put a trail of those going up the side of my card so I can put my string right, there and secure it down and not have to worry about it going anywhere. Sometimes getting the release paper off of these glue dots can be a pain, but this time it didn't give me too much of a hassle, except for that very last one. And now I'm going to put some glue on the bottom side of, or back side of my anchor. And we're going to glue that down, and I just love the way that anchor looks. And I'm going to trim off the end of my string here. And hope that it doesn't fray too much. Now I like the way this card looks right the way it is, but you got to do a little bit more for it. So I've got a pink circle die cut that I am going to glue down a shellfish, a little starfish, and I think another one of those conch shells. We're going to put those down at the bottom, and at the top we're going to glue down a sentiment that says May all your wishes come true. And I'm going to kind of leave those in the triangle with the one at the upper left hand side, then we've got the anchor, and the one with the lower left hand side that kind of I think makes a nice visual triangle. And I like the way that this looks so much. I love the pattern paper and just everything about it, that I'm not going to put any more gems or anything else, and I'm just going to leave it the way it is. We've got enough sparkle with the gold. Now for card number 8, we're making a little scene with our die cuts. But first, I finally have a piece of paper, cardstock that I can draw on that you can see. So you've got my little heart there, and I am just gluing that down, making sure it's opening on the right side. We don't want to glue everything down backwards, which I've done in the past. And we've got this almost an ombre dotted background with blues and greens that I think would make a nice background for a little seascape. And we've got 2 of the seagrasses, and so we're gluing those down first just to make sure that everything else goes in the right spot. And we've got this other little piece of, almost looks corally, or to me, it honestly, even though I know it's like for the bottom of the seabed, it kind of looks like a lung when you see your airway. Now you're never going to be able to look at that without thinking the same thing. So we get this little like angelfish that I believe needs an eye. So I just dot an eye on there with my white gel pen. And I continue to glue all my little other pieces down along with the sentiment that says how unique and special you are. And I end up glittering up my grasses and my little lung to make everything, give it a little sparkle. But yeah, we're on card 9 already. Can you believe it? So if you're enjoying this video at all, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me so much, and it only takes a second. Thumbs up, please. And or subscribe. I would love to have you here. And if you already subscribe, thank you so much, and thank you for coming back. Makes me happy. You know, I obsessively have to check how many people are viewing my videos. You know, it's like, not a lot, but we'll get there someday, I hope. Anyway, this is card number 8. I just love it. It's so pretty. Now, moving on to card 10, last but not least by any means, we've got our pink cardstock here. And that says bye, just because it is the last card. We're not leaving quite yet, though. You're stuck with us just a little bit longer. So we've got this light pink, and I am going to be using the pattern paper that's got like the scales on it, which I like to call scales. And so I'm gluing that down, and it's like, which side is right side up? I'm not really sure. Before, though, I have to deal with that. I put another piece of foam tape on the back of this paper as well. It's like, yeah, I got ahead of myself there. And as you can see, I was gluing it down because I said those tape runners are a pain on this stuff. But I really switched to glue at this point anyway, so neither here nor there. Let's see, which way do I go? Up, down? I'm not sure. In the end, it didn't matter. I just stuck this down, just like, that'll work either way. And because I glued it, I was able to like move it a bit because I was way off center at first, which is a good thing I was using glue in this case. And now I've got a diamond die cut from the waffle flower nested diamonds, and I am using that for my mermaid. I cut it out in the gold pattern paper, or the gold cardstock that came with the kit, and this mermaid fits beautifully inside this diamond. So we are putting her right in the center there. And I've got these gold die cuts that came in the kit as well, and I'm going to use them. Now, the only gold die cuts I believe in the kit were the stars and the dolphin, but in this case it worked out, so why not use them and match with my gold cardstock. And so I've got 3 stars I'm using, and again I'm using the stars instead of the little gems, and I'm just kind of scattering them around. And they're nice big stars. You're not going to miss seeing them. I mean, I guess I could have probably put smiley faces on them and made them anamorphic, but or just leave well enough alone. And our little chipboard sentiment says, "Believe in magic." And that's it for card number 10. So here's our 10 cards again. And I think they turned out rather well. I've got a lot of die cuts left, and I could actually probably make another 10 cards easily with this kit. It's just beautiful pattern papers, beautiful like magical fairies and unicorns and mermaids, and it was a fun kit to play with. So anyway, bye-bye for now.